Rules, of course, don't allow you to change anything on the car. You're stuck with it, and that's what happened.
Is Max Verstappen rewriting Formula One's rulebook? The Brazilian Grand Prix brought explosive rivalries, surprising penalties, and a bold response from Verstappen to the FIA and British media. His victory has blurred the lines between skill and luck, igniting a showdown that could reshape the future of F1. The Brazilian Grand Prix at Interlagos was nothing short of electrifying, with Max Verstappen taking a hard-earned victory that felt like a much-needed comeback. Despite starting 17th due to an engine penalty, Verstappen pushed forward with impeccable precision and timing, showcasing the kind of skill that fans have come to expect from the Dutch driver. Yet his victory wasn't without controversy. With a red flag giving him a chance to switch tires without losing position, many began to wonder, was it Verstappen's skill or pure luck that brought him to the top? This question of luck versus skill became a talking point after the race, especially in light of Lando Norris's candid remarks. Norris, who's often a rival on the track but not usually confrontational off it, didn't hold back. He suggested that Verstappen's success may have owed as much to fortunate timing as to sheer driving prowess. His main issue? The rule that allowed drivers to change tires during a red flag, a regulation that has benefited some drivers more than others over the season. To Norris, this moment seemed like yet another example of the uneven playing field he's spoken out about before. When asked about Norris's comments, Verstappen didn't hesitate to push back. In the post-race press conference, he firmly rejected the idea that his victory relied on luck. Instead, he credited his win to Red Bull's foresight and strategy, which allowed him to stay out longer than other drivers and thus capitalize on the red flag. This wasn't just a defense of his performance, it was also a pointed reminder to the FIA and the media that his success wasn't a fluke. Verstappen used this moment to call out what he sees as an ongoing bias in how he's portrayed, especially by the British media. In his view, the British press often paints him in a less favorable light than drivers like Norris and George Russell. Verstappen's issues with the media aren't new. Over the past few seasons, he's grown increasingly frustrated with what he perceives as a biased portrayal, one that favors British drivers. His rivalry with British star Lewis Hamilton, which has sparked some of the most memorable races in recent F1 history, is often framed in a way that Verstappen believes undermines his achievements. This year, Verstappen's outspoken personality and aggressive driving style have been the subjects of countless articles, many of which he feels cast him in a negative light. By pointing to this bias, Verstappen is challenging the narrative that's often crafted around him, a narrative that he argues is both selective and slanted. In the Brazilian Grand Prix, Verstappen's grievances weren't just with the media, they extended to the FIA itself. The red flag tire rule, which helped him, has been a point of contention among drivers, and many feel it's inconsistently applied. Interestingly, Verstappen's criticisms of the FIA and the media don't just resonate with his fans. They amplify his image as a driver who's unafraid to stand up for himself, even if it means challenging powerful institutions. His fans see him as a bold, independent voice in a sport where public statements are often carefully curated. Verstappen's outspokenness, particularly against what he perceives as bias, appeals to those who feel that the sport's governing bodies need to be held accountable. In fan forums and on social media, discussions about Verstappen's stance often reveal a divided fan base, those who support his call for fairness and those who see his comments as part of the drama that makes Formula One exciting. As the season nears its conclusion, the ongoing friction between Verstappen, the FIA, and the media seems poised to influence the final races. With the Las Vegas Grand Prix approaching, fans are eager to see if Verstappen will clinch his fourth consecutive title. A win there would solidify his standing as one of F1's modern legends, yet there's a sense that his victory might come with more scrutiny than celebration if the FIA or media continue to question his methods and achievements. The stage is set for an intense showdown, one that could either see Verstappen silence his critics or add more fuel to the fire of controversy surrounding his career. Max Verstappen's outspoken nature resonates far beyond the racetrack. His readiness to criticize FIA policies and call out media bias could over time drive real change within Formula One. Will his bold stance inspire others? Verstappen's calls for consistent rule enforcement and transparent media coverage reflect a growing demand among drivers. By challenging these issues, he might encourage others to voice similar concerns, potentially shifting how the FIA governs the sport and influencing how media narratives around F1 drivers are crafted in the future. In the meantime, Verstappen's interactions with the media and the FIA continue to captivate fans. His confrontations with the British press, particularly over their portrayal of his rivalry with Lewis Hamilton, adds layers to the ongoing drama within Formula One. His challenge to the press isn't just about setting the record straight, it's about taking control of his own story in a sport where drivers' images are often shaped by forces outside their control. Looking back at Verstappen's career, it's clear that his outspokenness isn't a recent development. From his early days as a young, fiery driver to his status now as a three-time world champion, Verstappen has consistently pushed against the boundaries set by the FIA and the media. His clashes with the British press, especially during the height of his rivalry with Hamilton, have been well documented. The 2021 British Grand Prix, for instance, was a turning point, marking the beginning of a heightened scrutiny that he feels has persisted ever since. As Verstappen continues to chase new records, his fans stand behind him, rallying around his call for fairness and transparency. His candidness and determination have helped him build a loyal fan base, one that appreciates not just his skill on the track, but his refusal to conform to expectations off it. To these fans, Verstappen's criticisms are seen as a necessary push for change in a sport that at times seems to resist it. Could Verstappen's words actually lead to changes within the FIA or the media landscape? Perhaps. If nothing else, his stance has forced these institutions to reflect on their practices and consider the impact of their decisions on the sport's image. His voice may well inspire future drivers to speak up, leading to a Formula One that's more equitable and transparent. In conclusion, the Brazilian Grand Prix wasn't just another race for Max Verstappen. It was a statement, a reminder that he won't let perceived biases or inconsistencies stand in his way. With the Las Vegas Grand Prix around the corner, Verstappen's journey continues, fueled by skill, resilience, and an unyielding drive to challenge the status quo. Don't forget to subscribe for more updates on the thrilling world of Formula One and all the latest developments with Max Verstappen's career. What's your take on the controversies surrounding Max Verstappen and the FIA? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments below, and if you're as passionate about Formula One as we are, hit the bell icon to stay tuned for our next video.